Hello, welcome to Love and Family Center. I still remain your host, Mark John, but today with me, I have...
Tinaya Hemba is my name.
Yes, as I told you last time, I'm still in Nigeria. So this is my last podcast in Nigeria, and I'll be talking about selective disclosure today. What do I mean when I say selective disclosure? That means you give half information to the person you're dating, not full information. So it's going to be like a selective disclosure, what you choose to disclose to your partner. Is it right to disclose a half information or a full information? So that is the question I'll be asking my host today, because he is a pastor. So I want to hear his view on that and what the viewers out there are also thinking about it. So my question is going to be, if he said that selective disclosure is wrong, he's going to give us reason. But if I say full transparency in a relationship, is it right? How you share it, what you share, why you share it, and when you're sharing that information is very vital. So I will turn over to my host now, and please tell us a little bit about selective disclosure or full transparency in a dating relationship, please.
Thank you so much, Mark John. I'm glad to be in your podcast. And when that topic is brought about being selective in disclosures, it actually means that somebody decides to give some information, like you said, and reserve some for some reasons. So it means that selective disclosure happens in a relationship.
Okay.
And a relationship is supposed to have a few pillars that makes it worthwhile. One, there should be trust.
Yes, trust.
So if there's trust, if there's commitment, like we said in the last podcast, sacrifice. These three things, as I didn't mention love. Love is just an aftermath of these things. These things increase to the love that is felt and experienced in a relationship between two people. So when there's trust, and when there's commitment, and when there's sacrifice, these are the pillars among few that really build up a relationship. So it means that if you and I, as a lady or as a wife, are in a relationship, I expect that there should be trust.
Okay.
There should be commitment, and there should be sacrifice. One more, there should be transparency.
Transparency. Okay.
Yeah. Now, transparency is going to be the reason why this subject will be important. How transparent, you know, and all of that. I believe that if I will answer that question, whether there should be selective disclosures or not in a relationship, let me say to camera, I want to answer this question like this. Is a yes and a no. I'm doing that from what I learned from my master, Jesus Christ. Jesus, sometimes when he's asked the question, is neither yes or no. But the circumstances on ground is why that event was going on. Who sinned that this man was born blind? Is it the father or him? And Jesus now said, not the young man, not the parents, but for the glory of the Lord to be made manifest. Now, do I disclose? Do I keep back some secrets? We'll get to know that depending on what is a secret, who is involved in the secret.
Okay.
And number three, the how, timing, very important. Whether you are about to marry or you have married. There are some secrets that should not pass relationship into marriage. They should not pass.
Okay, you're going to let us know all about that.
Okay. So, should not pass.
Okay.
Let me give the common that I've experienced as a pastor and as a mentor to a few people. The common I found among young ladies particularly is when they have had an abortion before. Someone deceived them, got to sleep with them, and sometimes could even be one pastor or an uncle, you know, somebody very close. Now, the shame, the trauma of saying it becomes the reason why most ladies hold back and they will not tell their intending husbands what the past was. But for me, how I say is this:
Yeah.
Before you get to a point where you can disclose such information to a man that says, I want to marry you, we must be sure that, number one, the guy is serious. That he's really, really ready to go all the way with that lady.
Okay.
Secondly, we need to have that relationship handed over to an agreed mentor. So the guy and his lady should sit down to agree who will be our mentor in this relationship.
Okay.
I don't mean online mentors, not online mentors or book mentors. A man and advice,
a man that is physically present.
Physically present.
Okay.
An elderly person. He might not be on ground physically like here, but he can be reached online, either on a video call.
Okay.
Not some random online person.
Okay.
There's someone that has your contact you can meet.
Okay.
I'm saying that because you will need to know that when two people have agreed to submit their relationship to an elderly person who is experienced and trustworthy, either a couple, best a couple, what should happen is this. The two will agree that this man or this couple are our mentors. Secondly, the mentor we hope he should be a wise man to know how to play along the two of them. Personally, if a couple comes to me with a challenge, what I do first is this. There are 4 sessions I have with them. The first session, I have it with them as a couple.
Okay.
Second session with either the man. Third session with the lady. Fourth session again with 2 of them.
Okay. And
I've heard mostly ladies tell me things they couldn't have said when the guy was around. I would be foolish now say, your girl said this when you went out. I'm killing the relationship. Some things they tell me, they've told me, I kept it here, but I'll use wisdom to know how to talk the man into getting him, if he's a sincere man, to open up and tell me what I was told. And I'll still not say, yes, she told me. Because when I do that, it will look like I'm giving the guy a hint that whenever there's trouble, this your wife will come to my house to report you. No mentor should make it look like the wife has a bulldog somewhere that should report the husband to. So the man, the mentor must be a very wise person to know how to manage informations.
Okay.
Yeah. Then thirdly or lastly, before I allow you to speak, sir, is that the people involved should have come to a point of committal such that even when the harshest of truth is being released, it will be hard to turn back. If at all they said to each other, I love you.
Okay. To our viewers out there, we are talking about selective disclosure or full transparency in a relationship. What is your idea? Do you think a man, when he meets a lady during a dating relationship, he should share everything, or he should reserve some information and just choose some few things that he is willing to share in the relationship? This is the definition that I got from a selective disclosure. It's a selective disclosure is a crucial communication strategy in a relationship. This concept refers to revealing information in a way that builds trust, maintain intrigue, and strengthen emotional bonds without oversharing too soon or holding back too much. Intentional sharing of personal information at the right time, in the right way, with the right person. It's about balancing transparency and discretion in order to foster trust and connection without overwhelming or scaring off a partner. So this is what selective disclosure means. So what you share, how you share it, why you are sharing it, and when you are sharing that information to the person you are dating really matters a lot. So I'm just going to dive into my next question due to time. So my other question to Pastor here is, the first question is, what exactly is selective disclosure in the context of a romantic relationship?
Is it romantic?
A romantic relationship.
Okay, now, is it romantic? Because Both unbelievers and believers have romantic relationships.
Yes.
So which of the relationships?
Okay, let's go with the believers.
Okay.
But I still want to talk about the unbelievers too, because we still have viewers who are not Christians.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
So first, for the unbelievers, don't get romantic if you're not sure that the guy will not go all the way with you. And well, that's I think for that. For the believer, the truth is this. We need to know what really is, or what are the ingredients that make up a solid relationship. If you are a believer out there in a relationship, I'm not saying a churchgoer, I'm saying someone that has actually become a servant of Jesus, one who wants to be the follower, a disciple of Jesus.
Yeah.
What the person will need to do is, first of all, go beyond that boundary of infatuation. Go beyond just feeling.
Yeah.
Coming to a point where you know that by the grace of God, I love this brother, I love this sister, and I hope that as we go together, two of us agreeing to make it work, we will make this relationship work. That in itself is really becoming romantic without the act, it's before the act.
Yeah.
Because being romantic is not just the act, it's also the mode that is being set in place before the act itself.
Okay.
And romantic relationships simply suggest that there is proximity.
Okay.
You can't get romantic and not feel the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, either physically you feel the heat, you perceive the breath, you know the body odor, you can sense that person. Now, you should be romantic in a way that you can feel the burden of the person, feel the pain of the person. You know, the person's vision as a husband, for instance, has a business plan, has a vision to expand the business. Part of the romantic moment for me is also to feel his need for that business and support. That support for that man can also make him feel loved, honored, and supported. These are all aspects of romance from my own understanding.
Okay.
Now, you can't get that close and still withhold informations that should be released.
Okay.
In my opinion, again, if a man gets so close to you, particularly in a marriage situation, gets so close to you and withholds an information that should have been said,
yes,
in my opinion, sir,
yeah,
I want to liken that to cheating.
Cheating.
Yes. Yeah. I know it's quite funny, but
okay,
cheating for us is going out with another woman, you know, maybe stuff like that, maybe holding some money, not telling her some stuff. But, you know, you need to be sure that you are lying down in the same bed with this woman that's your wife. You look into her eyes, maybe how these bonding styles we have these days, by saying to your wife, I love you too, take care, you know. How do you say I love you, take care for months, for years, and there's something that you know she should know, you know he should know, and then you withhold? In my little opinion, I might be wrong, but viewers, I feel that is cheating in itself. Because I love you, and keeping something at heart. If
you're saying that, that means, from me talking to a lot of men out there, that means 1/3 of the men in this world might be cheating.
It's possible. It's possible. Because of the several, you know.
The reason why I said that is because I do have a lot of conferences, relationship conferences in Uganda. And even in South Sudan, I've done a lot of relationship conferences. And a lot of men I've met said they cannot tell their wife everything. And some of you men out there, men out there, if you're watching this video, put your comment below. Because is it okay to share everything to your wife or the lady you are dating? Please let me know in the comments. So if you're not sharing everything, that means you are cheating. So I just want to say something to that.
Let me also say this. You know, even the way you said everything. Yeah. You see, everything means everything, no?
Yes.
Sorry, Oga. I'm a Nigerian. I know you are a South Sudanese, you are an American, you are from Filipinos. But see, life has a principle. And trust in Nigeria is trust in Ghana. Trust in Nigeria is trust in Germany. I'm saying that if you are a man out there, you are a woman out there, and you are saying you can't tell your wife everything. No one is saying tell them everything. We're saying tell them what they need to know, when they need to know, and make it known to them how it should be known. I'll give you an example, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I was driving through a street somewhere in Kaduna where I live, a place called Banawa.
Yeah.
And again, I saw ladies standing as prostitutes,
Yeah.
that area. And a thought came to mind. And the thought is that there could be a man out there who has a troublesome wife that hardly gives him peace. He now comes out to cool off with a lady there. And then he now finds that lady a bit respectful. Maybe she's in that business, as they call it, because of condition. And now this rich guy that wants peace in his house, that cannot find peace, goes out to meet that lady, and then she seemingly obeys him, loves him, cares for him, and he now pulls her away from the street, gets her an apartment and says, see, my wife gives me a headache, just be my help somewhere. Whenever I'm hot, I come, you cool me off. Now, it might be that that guy is doing that to help his life. So now you ask me a question. Should I go and tell my wife if that's what I do? No man will tell his wife that. But is that a right thing to do? The answer is still no. The answer is still no. So what's the solution to that challenge? Marry well from the beginning. That's the answer. To avoid cooling off with a different woman, be patient, Oga. Be patient, madam. Marry well from the beginning. Start well.
Yeah.
It begins by starting well. Begin well. When you begin well, it trickles down even to the children. Many homes have not raised nice children, whether they are believers or unbelievers, because they didn't begin well. One would be, now let me say this, some people are not even Christians, but they have good homes.
Because if you said people should begin well, I'm beginning to look at it from a different perspective, because if you say begin well, should the person has to be perfect all their life?
No.
Because there are people that they've made mistakes with their life.
Of course.
So some of those mistakes are really terrible.
Yeah.
That when you hear about it,
Yeah.
even in the middle of the relationship, you can choose to back out. That is when we talk about when to share and how to share.
Yeah.
But if you said marry well from the beginning, so how would you spare those that have made mistakes with their life?
Let me tell you my personal story.
Okay.
By the grace of God,
Yeah.
I don't boast about this.
Yeah.
By the grace of God,
Yes.
I am married as a virgin
Okay.
at 31 years old.
Okay.
By God's grace.
Okay.
And I grew up around some young guys that molested girls, and I hated it. I've seen innocent girls turn crazy girls because of the wrong man they met. I know that a lot.
Okay.
And so I prayed a prayer. I said, Lord, I'm not searching for a virgin. As a pastor, I'm not searching for a virgin. All I want is the woman you are prepared for me. And even if today she lives in a brothel, do something with her life. If it means getting her, do something. Let's say, for instance, she gets sick, and then in the hospital bed, some people came to pray for the sick people in the hospital, and as she gets born again, I say, Lord, do me a favor. Keep her womb for me. All I want is let's raise children and have a happy home. The past to every serious man doesn't count. As long as the woman is open enough to tell, this is me. No sincere man, no reasonable man who really wants to say, I love, should back out because of an innocent woman or a one-time woman who went rogue, now saying to you, I love you, help me start my life again. That man can be the miracle of that woman. I mean, in the Bible, Esther was there, a lady that, from my study in history, before you got to a point where the king ever took you in, some rituals were done. Now Esther was there. She wasn't the most beautiful, I believe. There was something she had about her that got the king. Every woman has something that can get her king, regardless of how the past was. Is it Rahab in the Bible? All of these names. So I'm saying that every sincere man who truly loves a lady, I shouldn't love a lady, want to go out with her, and then she comes close to me and she's open to tell me her life. Then I say, Kai, I back out. You further complicate that girl's life. I will run away when she comes to me and she's shady. She's hiding things. I try to poke a little and she's so, no, I'll back off. Because relationship is a choice. It's a choice. But once you love somebody and they are open, if you had ever loved a person and they are open to you, I feel you should even love them more. Protect them. Be the miracle for that lady. Be the blessing to that man.
Okay.
Let the man say, I never knew I can deserve a nice woman like you. You are my miracle. And watch how a reasonable man will keep himself for that woman alone.
Okay, I know you're a pastor. You're talking more from the Christian perspective. I get that. But there's this video that they were talking about something that they keep about. It's a, how do they call it? Social experiment that they did. That they keep about 30 couples.
Okay.
These 30 couples, they divided them into two groups. The 15 this way, 15 group A, the other 15 group B. They told the ones with group A, talk about everything. Then the one in group B, they told them, talk about certain things in your relationship that you think this person should know, this person not to know. The group that talked about everything, they end up having a breakup. And the other group that talked about a selective half information, selective disclosure, they survived the relationship and they found out that they are more healthier than the ones that talked about everything.
Okay.
Yes. So in this situation, my next question lies in that: is it good to live like an open book to people, like fully transparent? If both in a dating relationship.
Yeah, I'm a psychologist by training.
Okay.
So as a psychologist, that is what we do a lot. Social experiment and all of that.
Yeah.
Now we need to also take into cognizance the type of selection that was made around this couple. Were they believers? Were they unbelievers? That's one. How long were they in marriage?
They were believers.
Okay, good. Then how long were they in marriage? There's more probability that a couple that has stayed longer, or couples that have stayed longer in marriage, and now they are meant to say everything and they say everything, there'll be trouble. If for this long time I didn't get to know this, you're telling me now, there'll be some friction. If the couple were just maybe 2 years old, 4 years old couple, even at that's still long. Maybe 1 year, 2 years old. So sorry, I didn't tell you this happened. There could be some level of tolerance. So many factors affect this issue of disclosure. But I'll say again, I'm saying it very clearly.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't know everything that I know. But she has known everything that I know she needs to know about me in a relationship. Yes.
So, Pastor. Okay, time is not much on our side because of other things that are ahead of us today that we need to catch up with. But selective disclosure, okay, in a true loving relationship?
Very okay.
Very okay.
Very okay.
Okay. Let me ask you two more questions before.
Depends on how.
Okay.
Like we said, sir.
Yeah.
The timing, how, why, is very important. But be selective. If as a head of the family, everything you just know now, wow, you pass it through, no, there'll be trouble. Because sometimes you might have a misinformation, but you've passed all to your wife already. And then she swallows everything, and as a woman, you cannot handle it like you handle it. Before you say, oh, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. You have done some damage. So you must process it, select it, know how to bring it out, and all of that.
Okay, I have two more questions for you before we round up this segment.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is withholding information always about hiding something?
No. No. Sometimes you withhold to protect your partner.
Okay.
Knowing their frame.
Okay.
Knowing their perception towards things.
Okay.
For instance, I'm a pastor.
Yeah.
Or let me not say pastor. For instance, we are neighbors in same estate. And then the neighbor next door, the wife speaks to me anyhow, I should be wise not to just tell my wife that woman spoke to me anyhow. I won't do that. I've chosen to keep that from her.
Okay.
Rather, I'll draw her husband's attention and say, your wife spoke this way to me. He will go and solve that problem, and then it's solved, and she doesn't know. Because women might linger more in having biases against each other, women to women as neighbors, than how I can handle it with the husband of that woman, and then to be clearly sorted without my wife knowing. I have chosen disclosure, but not a disclosure that will affect her or sound like I'm cheating against her.
Good. Okay. Thank you so much. My last question to you before we leave is, how can someone learn to practice a healthy selective disclosure in a relationship?
You need mentors.
Okay.
Yes. A mentor is simply someone that has gone ahead of you in the field of your endeavor.
Okay.
So for me, as a family, my wife and I, there's a man that we look up to.
Okay.
That we call. When there's a reason to rack our brain and there's a choice to make, I submit myself, my wife submits herself, we both submit to the man to say, sir, see what we are thinking, what do you think? So with that kind of idea on ground, you would never get it wrong.
Okay, so to practice a healthy self-disclosure is that you need to have a mentor.
Yeah.
So our viewers out there, you hear what Pastor said, eh? So if you have any comment, please comment in the comment section, and if you have anything that you don't agree with, please feel free to comment, and please don't forget to share this video and subscribe, and also please don't forget to click on the notification button that whenever I upload a new video you'll be notified. Thank you so much. It's great being in Nigeria. I don't know when I'll be back again, but I am so happy to be here, and right now I think I should be heading to Abuja to the airport and fly back to Uganda. Thank you so much, and see you next. Bye.
Bye.